Have you ever been alone, but felt like you were drowning? Not in noise, but in your own mind? A single message left unread. A strange look from a stranger? A silence that felt a little too long, and suddenly you're spiraling. What did I do wrong? Why didn't I say something else? What if it all goes wrong tomorrow? It doesn't matter if the day is peaceful, your mind won't let it be, because that's what overthinking does. It doesn't knock, it invades. And in today's world, where information rains down like hail in a storm, our minds, beautiful, fragile, are flooded with questions about what might happen, what should have happened, and what could still go wrong. But what if there's another way, a quieter way, a wiser way, a way that's been practiced for over 2,000 years? The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, faced wars, plagues, betrayals, and death. And yet they found stillness, they found clarity, not because life got easier, but because they learned how to master the mind. And now so can you. This is 10 Stoic ways to stop overthinking. And it starts with one simple truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts stay. We live in an age where information hits us like hail in a storm, relentless, sharp, and unexpected. Every ping, every headline, every sideways glance from a stranger can trigger a mental avalanche. And before we know it, we're buried. Our minds fill with questions we can't answer. What's going to happen next? What if I fail? Am I missing something? Overthinking rarely shouts. It whispers, like a dripping faucet in the back of your mind. It wears the mask of logic, but underneath it's panic dressed in reason. Soon we're lost inside our own heads, where every hallway leads back to the same locked door. But the Stoics taught a way out. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them. Think of your mind like a train station. Thoughts are trains, arriving, departing, noisy, distracting. But you're not the train. You're the one standing on the platform, still and observing. When a negative thought rolls in, don't hop on, just see it, nod, and let it pass. Say to yourself, this is worry, not truth. This is noise, not identity. Because you are not the hailstorm, you are the roof. You are the stillness that survives while the world spins madly on. Overthinking is a thief, but not of time. It steals your energy. Have you ever noticed how exhausted you feel after doing absolutely nothing except worry? That's the trap. In today's world, your attention is under siege. Notifications blink like strobe lights. Endless feeds scroll like conveyor belts of comparison. And your brain, noble as it is, tries to process it all, spinning like a wheel caught in mud. We're wired to predict, to anticipate, to stay one step ahead. But in that race, we burn fuel on battles that haven't even happened. True happiness, Seneca once wrote, is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. Stoicism doesn't ask you to feel less. It asks you to focus better. So the next time your mind starts spiraling, stop, breathe. Ask, what can I control right now? Where should my energy go in this moment? Then act, not to escape the noise, but to transmute it. Clean the room, write the page, take the walk, call someone who needs you. Redirecting your energy isn't avoidance, it's mastery. You are not powerless in the storm of thought. You are the captain, and your attention is the wheel. Turn it with purpose, because wherever your energy flows, your life follows. Overthinking thrives on the illusion of enormity. A single problem feels like a mountain, jagged, cold, impossible. You stand at the base, staring upward, frozen not by fear, but by scale. That's the trick. Overthinking doesn't come from not knowing what to do. It comes from believing you must do everything all at once. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When your mind is spiraling, stop. Don't look at the whole mountain. Look at the next step. You don't need to climb the summit today. You only need to move one foot. Ask yourself, what is the smallest action I can take right now? Not the best, not the perfect. Just Possible. Write the first sentence. Send the email. Drink a glass of water. Fold one shirt. Each step is small, but together they build momentum. And momentum is the enemy of stagnation. Because once you're in motion, the mind shifts from imagining to doing, from spiraling to solving. The Stoics didn't believe in passivity, they believed in progress, in choosing action over anxiety, one decision at a time. So when overthinking knocks, don't try to outthink it. Outmove it. The mountain doesn't shrink, but your fear of it does, the moment you take that first steady step. Worry doesn't ask permission. It shows up uninvited. At work, at dinner, in bed at 2:17 a.m. It hijacks your peace like static on a quiet radio. The problem isn't that we worry, it's that we worry all day. But what if you gave your worries a schedule? The Stoics understood that the mind, like a city, needs boundaries. Walls, gates, appointed times for entry and exit. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish. Foolish? Like talking to your anxiety on purpose? Maybe. But here's the wisdom. Set aside 20 minutes a day to worry, and only then. Call it your worry window, a mental appointment with your concerns. During that time, write them down. Let them speak. Ask, is this problem real or imagined? Is it happening now? Is there anything I can do? Most worries, when pulled into the light, shrink. Some vanish entirely. And once the timer ends, you stop. You close the journal. You get up. You reclaim your day. It's not that worry disappears. It's that you no longer let it spill into every room of your mind. Structure sets you free. Even your fears obey the clock. In a world that wants your attention 24/7, claiming when you worry is an act of power. We overthink because we believe things will stay the way they are, forever. The pain, the uncertainty, the not knowing. We grip our thoughts tightly because deep down, we fear they're permanent. But they're not, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself over and over. Everything is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered. Look around you. Seasons shift without asking. Skin wrinkles. Rivers reshape their own beds. The world is built on change. So is your mind. That thought you can't stop thinking, it will pass. That mistake you keep replaying, one day it won't sting. Even this sentence, already it belongs to the past. The Stoics didn't see impermanence as a tragedy. They saw it as liberation. When you embrace the truth that everything flows, you stop clinging. You stop gripping the anxious moment as if it defines you. Try this. Next time your mind gets stuck, whisper gently, this too is passing through. This feeling is not forever. I can let go because nothing holds me. Let your thoughts be leaves on a river, not stones in your pocket. You don't need to sink with them. You can watch them float, because what you're feeling is real, but it's not eternal. And that's what makes space for peace. Your mind is not a vault. It was never meant to hold everything inside. And yet, we do. We carry every unfinished conversation, every regret, every anxious what if, all piled on top of each other, like books stacked on a shelf that's starting to buckle. No wonder we feel overwhelmed. But Marcus Aurelius had a remedy. He wrote, not to be read, not to impress, but to survive. His journal, Meditations, wasn't meant for the world. It was a conversation with himself. That's what journaling is. A place where thoughts can land. A place where chaos becomes clarity. So try this. Before bed, open a notebook. No filters, no rules. Just pour it out. What's on your mind right now? What are you afraid of? What are you avoiding? Don't worry about grammar. Don't try to sound wise. Be raw. Be real. You'll find that when a thought moves from your head to the page, it loses its power. What felt infinite now has a shape. What felt unbearable becomes understandable. This is not therapy, it's honesty. And with honesty comes relief, because overthinking thrives in silence. But it cannot survive in the light. So write, not to fix yourself, but to find yourself beneath the noise. In a world that races faster each day, stillness becomes a form of rebellion. Your phone buzzes, Deadlines loom, voices blur, and your mind, faithful, fragile, tries to keep up, sprinting from one worry to the next like a child lost in a crowd. But the Stoics knew, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. Stillness isn't the absence of thought. It's the art of not being dragged by every one of them. Mindfulness, Stoic style, means returning to now. It means taking 5 deep breaths before reacting. It means noticing the warmth of your coffee before checking 5 messages. It means hearing a thought, "I'm not enough," and responding, "That's a thought, not a truth." Try this. Sit. Just sit. Close your eyes. Breathe. Count each inhale. Feel each exhale. Your mind will wander. That's okay. Bring it back. Not with force, but with kindness. This isn't retreat, it's resistance. It's reminding your mind that you are in charge of where it lives. Because the world will always shout, but clarity whispers. And in that whisper, that pause between thought and action, is your power. The practice is simple. The impact is profound. Come back to your breath. That's where the real you still lives. Most of our suffering doesn't come from doing. It comes from wondering what it will lead to. Will they like it? Will I succeed? What if I fail, publicly, painfully, permanently? We've been trained to obsess over outcomes, likes, rankings, results. But the Stoics looked deeper. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Translation, you don't control the finish line. You only control the steps. Overthinking feeds on the future. So let it starve. Put your energy into the effort, the craft, the care, the clarity of your action. Do the thing for its own sake, not for applause. Write the page, not the bestseller. Give the speech, not the standing ovation. Show up fully, not perfectly. When you focus on effort, you win before the world responds. You win in your discipline. You win in your integrity. You win in knowing, I gave it everything I had and I didn't break. The Stoics weren't passive, they were precise. They didn't avoid ambition, they redefined it. Not did I win, but did I do it with virtue? Because you don't need a trophy to feel proud. You need the quiet knowing that you showed up with courage. And that is a kind of peace no outcome can promise. The modern mind is not overwhelmed by thought. It's drowned by input. We wake up, and before our first breath is conscious, we're scrolling. Headlines, messages, likes, alerts. 100 voices before the day has even begun. It's not that we lack clarity. It's that we've allowed everyone else's noise to live rent-free in our minds. Seneca warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Your attention is not infinite, it is sacred. And if you don't guard it, the world will devour it, one ping at a time. Overthinking thrives in overstimulation. The more data you absorb, the more your brain tries to make sense of it and fails. So it loops and spirals and replays. But here's a Stoic approach. Create boundaries, digital ones. Set times for checking emails, not moments. Turn off non-essential notifications. Make your bedroom a phone-free sanctuary. Take walks without headphones. Let silence speak again. Choose who and what gets access to your inner world. The Stoics practice isolation not as escape, but as clarity, as reset. Today you don't need a mountain cave, you need discipline. You need to say, not now to the world, so you can say yes to your mind. Your peace is not found in the next scroll. It's found in the pause before you open the app. Less noise, more soul. Sometimes the worst overthinking happens in the quiet, when we try to solve everything alone. We turn problems over in our heads like stones in our hands, hoping that if we grip them long enough, they'll turn into answers. But they don't. They just get heavier. The Stoics knew this. Though they prized inner strength, they never preached isolation. Seneca wrote, "Consult your friend on all things, especially on yourself." Because sometimes the mind isn't the best place to find perspective, especially when it's the one that created the storm. So seek wisdom from books, from mentors, from those who have walked the fire before you. Ask a friend, What do you see that I don't? Talk to someone who's not trapped in your story. Let their clarity interrupt your chaos. Not for validation, but for vision. And if no one is near, let Marcus speak to you. Let Epictetus walk beside you. Let the quiet pages of old philosophy be the mirror you can't hold for yourself. The Stoic path was never walked entirely alone. Even Marcus, emperor of the known world, wrote his thoughts to himself, but from a higher self, a wiser voice, cultivated through study and shared wisdom. You don't have to carry it all. Let others lend you their eyes, their lessons, their light. Sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is ask for help. In the end, overthinking is not the enemy. It's a signal that your mind is awake, alert, searching for control in a world that rarely offers it. But the Stoics remind us, you don't need to control the storm. You only need to control how you stand in it. You've now learned 10 Stoic tools, not hacks, not trends, but timeless practices carved out by philosophers who lived through chaos and still found clarity. So remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the mountain beneath the clouds. You are the breath beneath the panic. You are the action beneath the spiral. Let this be your daily practice. Not a one-time cure, but a lifelong discipline. And if one of these ideas sparks something in you, a shift, a breath, a moment of stillness, then carry it forward. Practice it. Share it. And don't walk the Stoic path alone. At Stoic Viva, we bring ancient wisdom into modern life every week. So if you're ready to think less and live more, subscribe to Stoic Viva and let's build inner peace together. Because this isn't just philosophy, it's power. Quiet, patient, unshakable, and now it's yours.